against Denver. They'll go out again today. And actually joining us on a game day, Suns TV play-by-play voice, Kevin Ray, joins us down the right side of guest line. Kevin, what's happening?
What's up, K-Ray?
Gentlemen, good afternoon.
So let me ask you, what time does the limo pick you up, take you to the arena on a game day?
What time tip-off is? 7 o'clock tip. Usually have the stretch rolling in about 4:30. Between 4:20 and 4:30.
Is Chambers already there waiting? Did they get him first?
Well, they got to get him first. Yeah, I mean, come on, you know that.
First, you got to wake him up from his nap, though, Kevin. Don't you got to get him from the nap?
They gotta call him around noon, make sure he's not on the horse, or if he is, that he's getting off the horse soon, that he's out of the barn, that he's gotten the hay taken care of, and that he's going to be getting in the shower here in the next couple hours.
Oh, that's good stuff. Oh, I love it. Hey, especially game day. Thanks for making some time. We do appreciate it. And you heard CP3 as we brought you on talking about Deandre Ayton. It's been a topic that we've discussed quite a bit over the course of the last week. That we've seen kind of a not an emergence of DA, but it seems as though he's being a little bit more aggressive. He's being I don't know what the word is.
More proactive?
More proactive.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Going to the rack.
Wait, DA, a topic of discussion?
No.
I mean, really? No, look, all kidding aside, I mean, you would have to have been, living on another planet or under a rock to know that there was certainly a lot of talk about DA, and some of it kind of a source of frustration. And I don't think it was any secret some of that frustration was coming from his teammates, but the frustration came as I think all of us who have competed in sports know, which is we know, and certainly his teammates and coaches know how immensely talented this young man is. So it's that tough love. It's like, we want the best for you, man, because the best for you, yes, means the best for us. And I think what Chris said is spot on. I think that there was certainly probably a lot of kind of apprehension from folks, like how is he going to handle this tough love? But to his credit, he has absolutely, taken it in, absorbed it, and more importantly, we have seen it go to work. And while it hasn't translated directly to wins, to me, the exciting part is, the big picture now as the weeks and months roll ahead.
I think what you just said right there, Kevin, the absorb it part, because too many times you see a guy, especially drafted where he was, where the ego gets in the way, and listening to the post-game press conferences with Devin Booker or with CP3, and when they talk about their time sitting down with Deandre Ayton, it sounds like he's extremely receptive, and then just watching him in the games, body language and so forth, it seems like he's receptive to improving with these teammates, CP3 especially. That to me is why there's still hope. There's a lot of times where you can see when a dude's a closed book and this is a lost cause. I don't get that feeling from him. It seems like he's very receptive, and hopefully this is a true turnaround for him.
Yeah, and look, I'm as guilty as the next person. In it's easy for us to sit there and go, dude, you're 7 feet. You've got
sure.
the ability to do this, the ability to do that. But I think sometimes we've all got to remind ourselves, it's not as though DA grew up playing hoops. I mean, he like a lot of guys that we've seen in just professional sports, he didn't really take up basketball until his teens. And then all of a sudden you become this basketball prodigy and you're thrust into a college experience for a year. So in terms of like basketball experience, just basketball, much less NBA basketball, he's behind the curve. So when you hear guys talk about, look, you've got to be especially patient with bigs. Well, in this case, I think we probably all got to become a little bit better at being patient, because here's a big that didn't start playing basketball and really even understanding basketball until he got into his teens. So there's a lot of growth there. And yes, that is the key, is you have to have a willing participant, a willing listener. And the fact that he's doing that speaks volumes about, where he can take it. Now, I think that the next question that we all want to know is, okay, we've got a great 3-4 game sample. Now, can we make this a 10-game sample? Can we make this, 15 games? That becomes, the next question and kind of the next phase of the project, if you will.
Kevin, is it most of it, what I hear is basketball acumen or basketball IQ? He might be a little bit behind the curve. To your point, he hasn't really played that much basketball. But from now on, when they adjust to him, is the next step for him adjusting to what they throw at him? And is CP3 one of those guys that can help him figure that out?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you've heard, even DA comment about breaking down film with Chris and Devin. And, to hear it directly from your peers is something in addition to what the coaches are telling you. I mean, I've raved about the job that Mark Bryant, Suns assistant coach, has done with DA from the time that Mark, got his hands on him. And Mark has done a wonderful job at helping DA take those next steps. But when you're a teammate and you're being coached by your peers, by the two best players on the team, and they're sitting there telling you, saying, look, I mean, yes, I'm a 10-time All-Star. And for Devin, we know what he's capable of doing. I think DA, I guess in some degrees to his credit, has tried to maybe defer too much to those guys where they would get an entry pass and he would almost be like, oh, I got to do something now to set up Chris or Devin versus, no, dude, you're 7 feet and you're 2 feet from the rim. Go do damage.
Yes.
And I think it's part of that communication that he's now getting to understand. It's like, yeah, we're the two best players on the team, but, it's like 1A, 1B, and 1C. And you're right there with us. So, doing damage, you're going to make our lives much easier.
Kevin Ray, TV play-by-play voice for the Suns, joining us here on Fox Sports 910. Jae Crowder has indicated on social media that he's receiving death threats. Kevin, are you hearing this? And, it's been kind of quiet. This seems like this should be front page stuff.
Well, I heard it about the same time that you guys did. Unfortunately, in this world of COVID that we live in, our connection and proximity to the players is not what it's has been in the past. So it's unfortunate that this news is coming out in the regards that Jay is having to deal with this. Sure. It's mind-boggling to me that somebody like Jay, who carries himself so professionally and conducts himself so professionally, plays the game the right way, would have to deal with nonsense like this. But it does also, as fans and people who are seeing these guys, and oftentimes fans get caught up in, oh man, he's his life must be great, he's making millions of dollars, what does he have to complain about? But people forget sometimes that these guys become targets for a variety of reasons for people, and they're a husband, a father, just like so many of us are. And you have to go out and try to perform at a high level and deal with those things. So it does put it all into perspective. I hope for his sake, more importantly for his daughters and family's sake, that they can get this thing handled because it's something that nobody should have to deal with.
Kevin, we'll be watching as always, man. Thanks for coming on with us. And do you guys even need to tip the driver when you guys when you get dropped off at the arena?
It's got to be built in, I'm sure.
Is it all part of it? Your deal?
Yeah. Well, I say just put it on Chambers' tab.
There you go.
Yes. He's got his first 2 nickels, right, Kevin?
Make sure he gets you 3 hay bales next week. Not just 2. Just make it for.
Good stuff. I love it. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having some fun with us.
Anytime, fellas. Take care.
That's Kevin Ray joining us, TV play-by-play voice. You can follow him on Twitter at KRay1Voice. I could just see that. You see that Subway commercial with Dion.
Yes.
It's
coming out.
I just see that. See that limo pulling up.
Got your driver.
There's there's TC sitting there waiting. Like, let's go, K-Ray. We're gonna be late.
Yeah, he'd be one of those.
Go.
I think Tom Chambers like, there's no way I'm gonna get in a stretch. I'm driving my truck. Got my GMC 5000. Got a Hemi in that bad boy. I'm driving my truck.
But if there's there's a limo and they're taking him home, and there's a couple cold Coors Lights in there, he'll be okay.
There are exceptions to the rule, depending who you're playing that night.
Hey, if